Hello, friends. This is Martin speaking. I really need your support. Please subscribe to the channel before watching. In this episode, we will discuss 3 very important topics. Each topic is important and interesting, so be sure to watch our episode until the end. Topic number 1. PLA's shocking allegation. Is the U.S. fanning the flames of a Taiwan proxy war? Topic number 2. China's game-changing satellites. How they're expanding military reach. According to the U.S. Topic number 3. Cybersecurity alert. U.S. identifies China as its biggest threat. Pentagon issues dire warning. Topic number 1. China's People's Liberation Army, PLA. Air Force and Navy have recently deployed a significant number of aircraft and vessels to the Taiwan Strait. This follows the passage of 2 warships from the United States and Canadian navies through the region. Taiwan's Ministry of National Defense reported that, in the span of 24 hours, at least 22 aircraft and 20 vessels, including the Shandong aircraft carrier, were sent to areas around Taiwan by the Eastern Theater Command. Specifically, 13 of the aircraft entered Taiwan's southwestern air defense identification zone. News reports suggest that the number of Chinese vessels deployed is the largest recorded since August of the previous year. Taiwan responded to China's actions by closely monitoring the situation and deploying Combat Air Patrol (CAP) aircraft, Navy vessels, and land-based missile systems. The deployment by China occurred after the U.S. Ralph Johnson and the Canadian naval frigate HMCS Ottawa sailed through the Taiwan Strait on September 9. The intention of the U.S. Navy was to safeguard freedom of navigation in the area. The Voice of the Strait, a radio broadcaster in Fujian established by the PLA, claimed that the recent increase in U.S. arms sales and military assistance to Taiwan is a result of its desires to replicate a proxy war similar to that of Ukraine in the Taiwan Strait. The broadcast suggests that the U.S. aims to strengthen its control in Taiwan through the Democratic Progressive Party, DPP, the ruling party, while creating conflict and reducing China's strength. U.S. President Joe Biden expressed his opinion that due to China's slowing economy, an invasion of Taiwan is less likely in the near future. Biden stated that the Chinese government is currently facing an economic crisis of high youth unemployment and issues in the property market. During the G20 summit in India, Biden engaged in conversations with Chinese Premier Li Qiang, where they both emphasized the importance of maintaining exchanges and viewing China's development as an opportunity. The Biden administration has recently provided Taiwan with foreign military financing assistance and approved arms sales worth millions of dollars. China's foreign ministry spokesperson called for the U.S. to cease actions that could escalate tensions in the Taiwan Strait and stop supporting any attempts to seek Taiwan independence through force. An article published by ChinaTimes.com, a pro-Beijing news website in Taiwan, suggested that Biden's decision to provide military assistance to Taiwan could escalate conflict in the Taiwan Strait. It argued that as the U.S. enters its presidential election season, anti-China sentiment in the country will likely increase. The article also claimed that Biden has minimized the assistance to Taiwan in order to avoid provoking China, while the Democratic Progressive Party in Taiwan has exaggerated the effects of such assistance to justify their own actions. It is essential to critically analyze the situation, considering the actions and statements from both China and the U.S. While China's deployment of aircraft and vessels in the Taiwan Strait raises concerns about regional stability, the U.S. has emphasized its commitment to ensuring freedom of navigation in the area. The motives behind the U.S. increasing military assistance to Taiwan can be perceived differently, with China arguing that the U.S. aims to stir conflict and weaken China's position. Considering that opinions on this topic may vary, it is important to hear the perspectives of different individuals on the matter. What are your thoughts regarding the recent developments in the Taiwan Strait? Please share your opinions in the comments. Topic number 2. China's game-changing satellites. How they're expanding military reach. According to the U.S., China has recently developed new satellites, which according to the United States Space Force's top intelligence leader, Major General Greg Gagnon, have expanded its military capabilities in the Pacific region. These advanced satellites have significantly enhanced China's observation abilities, allowing for greater precision and visibility during day and night, regardless of weather conditions. Gagnon made these remarks during the Air and Space Forces Association's annual Air, Space, and Cyber Conference near Washington, D.C. China's deployment of these space assets has not only extended its reach, but also increased its ability to threaten Taiwan more effectively. The People's Liberation Army, PLA, now has access to space capabilities similar to those possessed by the United States a decade or so ago. These capabilities are integrated into China's command and control centers and linked with military weaponry, leading to an expansion of the PLA's weapons engagement zone. This development represents a significant shift in the military dynamics of the Western Pacific. In recent years, China has launched around 200 satellites, a considerable portion of which are dedicated to monitoring Chinese and rival forces. This substantial investment in space capabilities has transformed China from a regional player with a primarily inward-focused defense strategy into a global power projection nation. This projection of power becomes apparent through their attempts to coerce allies and partners in the Western Pacific. It is also observed when China conducts air and unmanned aerial vehicle, UAV, operations around Taiwan or positions surface combatants near the eastern side of the island, rehearsing potential full envelopment maneuvers. Despite China's advancements, the United States still maintains superiority in certain aspects of the commercial space sector. The U.S. has world-leading sensor and communication products and services that reinforce its strength in the space domain. However, there have been recent concerns regarding the actions of Elon Musk, particularly related to his company SpaceX. Reports suggest that Musk denied a request from Ukraine in 2022 to extend Starlink service in Crimea, potentially enabling Ukrainian forces to target Russian naval assets in the region. Regarding the U.S. reliance on SpaceX, General Chance Saltzman, head of U.S. space operations, assured reporters at the conference that companies contracted by the U.S. government are expected to fulfill their obligations. He deflected any specific concerns related to SpaceX and emphasized that contract terms dictate business relationships. To enhance the effectiveness of its space operations, the United States plans to streamline operations and sustainment under single-team leaders. This approach, known as Integrated Mission Deltas, IMDs, entails having a single commander responsible for both operations and sustainment within a specific mission area. Currently, 2 IMD prototypes are being developed, one for electromagnetic warfare and another for positioning, navigation, and timing. These prototypes aim to integrate operations and sustainment seamlessly. In addition to streamlining its own operations, the United States is taking steps to monitor the activities of China and Russia in space. The National Reconnaissance Office, NRO, is launching a new space mission called Silent Barker, which involves deploying satellites in the geosynchronous Earth orbit belt. These satellites will observe and monitor Chinese and Russian space weaponry activities, evaluating whether any concerning actions are taking place and preparing possible responses accordingly. However, the United States does not intend to deploy missile or laser-armed satellites in orbit, as the destruction of space objects can create debris and other long-term issues that would require extensive monitoring and management. General Saltzman explained that alternative measures, such as advanced cyber effects, can be utilized to neutralize Chinese space-based weaponry. He emphasized the reluctance to create debris fields that would persist in Earth's orbit for hundreds of years, as it would hinder future space plans and operations. Ultimately, the advancements made by China in space capabilities and its projection of military power in the Pacific raise various questions and opportunities for discussion. What are your thoughts on China's rapid satellite deployment and its implications? How do you view the United States' approaches to space operations and monitoring? Feel free to share your opinions in the comments below. Topic number 3. Cybersecurity Alert. U.S. identifies China as its biggest threat. Pentagon issues dire warning. The Department of Defense, DoD, has recently released a summary of a classified report, revealing that it views China as its primary cybersecurity threat. The unclassified version of this report serves as a foundation for the DoD's strategy in implementing the priorities outlined in the 2022 National Security Strategy, 2022 National Defense Strategy, and the 2023 National Cybersecurity Strategy. John Plum, the Assistant Secretary of Defense for Space Policy, highlights the significance of this strategy, which draws on the lessons learned from previous cyber operations and observations of cyber warfare in the Russia-Ukraine conflict. Plum stresses the importance of close collaboration with allies, partners, and industry in order to possess the necessary cyber capabilities, security measures, and resilience to deter conflicts and emerge victorious if deterrence fails. The strategy, as explained by Meek Ouyang, Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for Cyber Policy, recognizes China as the principal challenge in the cyber domain and acknowledges that Russia also poses a significant threat in cyberspace. According to the report, the Chinese Communist Party considers cybersecurity superiority as a fundamental principle for achieving victory. It further states that China has been involved in prolonged campaigns involving espionage, theft, and compromise against essential defense networks and broader critical infrastructure in the United States. Ouyang emphasizes the ongoing collaboration between the DoD and other federal government entities to share best practices and expertise in combating cyber threats. The strategy also outlines plans to deepen cooperation with private industry through voluntary and timely information sharing. As the cyber domain continues to expand, the report highlights how foreign adversaries have exploited vulnerabilities to engage in activities such as espionage, intellectual property theft, violation of U.S. sovereignty, and even acts of war. Earlier this year, both U.S. officials and Microsoft disclosed the discovery of a Chinese hacking campaign targeting high-ranking individuals, including U.S. Commerce Secretary Gina Raimondo and senior State Department officials. The intrusion began on May 15th and went undetected until June 16th. While Microsoft attributed responsibility to a Chinese hacking group, the State Department did not officially attribute the attack to China. Nevertheless, it did not have evidence to refute this claim either. We invite you, our audience, to weigh in on this topic. What are your thoughts on the DoD's assessment of China as the biggest threat in cybersecurity? Feel free to share your opinions in the comments section.